Yes, and we'll get into Overpass shortly. We didn't really talk about the maps too much in terms of what we expect, but I think you put it nicely, Alex, succinctly too. We're going to get a battle with these two teams. We are going to get a battle, and the action has already begun. NIP are off on that T side, and we've got Fnatic on the CT side, and Brolan is the spotter, looking for that information there with the binoculars from the party. And he'll see that NIP are not towards the A side of the map in any respect. They're playing that B retake strat.
Well, this is a wild one. They've got 2 flashes with which to get 5 people on this bomb site to get killed from range. Speaking of which, JW will land 2 headshots, so that is going to be a real advantage for them, and he will do JW things and just continue the aggression. But Hampus has got that P250 to get the 1 shot from more reasonable range. Now he's got a nice awkward angle if he can make it work for him, although he's only got Twist to play off of, and now it's just Twist alone. So despite having a numbers advantage on the bomb site, it's the headshots landed by Fnatic. Credit to JW at the beginning there with 2 as well, which just shuts things down immediately.
Yeah, when you're playing a retakes head up like Fnatic and you get 2 headshot kills on the retake before your teammates even have a chance to rotate, sky's the limit and looking up for you guys. So it's just really nice and convenient for JW to get those 2 early kills. Really builds the confidence for the rest of the teammates to kind of be a little looser on the retake.
We've been getting a good amount of overpass at this tournament. It seems like teams are starting to move back to it here, and it's kind of cool to see because we had a drought of it for a while. Golden, though, see if he can make any kind of feast for himself here at the fountain position. Actually, it'll be Brolan to find the first. Golden is taking great advanced positioning, though, in the playground. This should be good for at least 1 kill, and he does find Rez there. Can he get himself out, though, is the real question. The answer will be no.
That's a good attempt, though. He made me believe, and it's very cool to see that they gave an aggressive look to this round at the very beginning, because they get some of those early engagements, they get that information, they're able to really create a situation where NIP with this force are put in a more awkward spot where they don't get to dictate what they want to do as much at the beginning of the round. But now we can see that Fnatic are in a 4 versus 3. They get to play really passively, and they kind of earned this with that early success to their early aggression. And this is very typical to the CT flow on overpasses. Show a lot of aggression at the beginning, and then that allows you to play quite passively later on.
40 seconds on the clock. Quick look from JW, and he'll see some presence at long. Another look, and nobody's there just yet, but he will see the trajectory of the grenade, and now a smoke to create some space. This is a common smoke that Fnatic do whenever there's a push on the A bomb site, which allows them to split the push. With a scout though, but JW will do it. Of course he will. 25 seconds, gets himself an upgrade, and there's no real position for Nork to do anything. He has to, though. He needs to die before the time expires one way or another. He'll try to do some damage on his way out, but he won't be able to do any more. A great play from JW, but when there are executes towards the A bomb site, do look for that smoke to be dropped quite commonly by Fnatic.
Yeah, this is such a dangerous map for Alps and Scouts, and if you have a person like JW, who we've seen the last couple days be on fire, he is having a huge impact with his scopes, and it's just hard to deal with that on a map like Overpass with these long range angles, and it's just easy for the CTs just to fall back and keep making angles happen.
This Molotov is going to be that Molotov is extremely important in the way the meta is, and I think it's one of those things where it goes beyond the meta because it's just actually objectively very good, and I don't think it'll ever really fall out of the meta at this point.
Yeah, it's just too good. Makes so much info for these CTs. If they toss a smoke, they know that there's at least a couple Ts in the area. If they don't toss a smoke, they know probably at most only 1 T probably made it to the playground area, unless they're going to take significant Molotov damage if they send more because of the timing.
And also if they smoke, you know, they still have to go through to the playground, and you can then time an HE that will hit them in the face as well as forcing out a very important PC utility. So it's just there's just so many benefits to it.
Oh, clean stuff from Brolan here. Looking to continue it, but Rez is able to at least find 1. It'd be nice if he does a little bit more damage keeps the economy honest on the side of Fnatic here. But a good attempt will be stopped as Golden takes him down. Nice 3-0 start from Fnatic here. First gun round.
Eco kills and brawling. Name a better duo.
I want to say it's Mahone's YouTube channel that I recently watched a review of Brolan playing CT A on Overpass in conjunction with JW as well, which is really, really interesting. This kind of setups they have, which is where I learned about that smoke. They like to drop down, which is allows them to fight around the site rather than the normal traditional positions where you're kind of stuck in bank and so on. So this may prove very interesting as we continue. A good start for Fnatic, 3-0. Plopsky's been tasked with Connector. Now, if there's a play towards Shortby later on, that may come in handy. On this occasion, they haven't gone there just yet. Hampus is... what the hell country is that? What country is Hampus from?
Wait, let me see that
Nigeria? Is that Nigeria?
No.
Is that Bahrain? No, it's Turkey.
Is it? I
Dances
thought
on
Turkey's
the
all
postcard.
red, right?
But it has that little moon on there. Man, I'm feeling pretty dumb right now. We gotta look it up.
Nigeria.
And everyone has their phones out. quickly
Gotta
searching.
know. Oh, there's a lot of flags out there.
Well, while you guys are figuring out the flag,
Singapore.
there's a minute on the clock and we
It's
can see that
It's Singapore.
Ninjas
I should know
in
that.
Pyjamas are approaching the A bomb site. They've got a good split here. They've got denial of information with that smoke. They can creep up behind it. Brolan's trying to do what he can. Again, you can see he's holding out the smoke. So once he spots some players, there goes the smoke. And that means he can fight long, while from a better position than he would be able to otherwise. It does split the defenses once more, making it a one-way looking over the top, but you can see Hampus will find a spray regardless, so I guess he's done his demos. 30 seconds on the clock, and we've got Golden taken out the back of the site. Now we've got those deep smokes isolating. Very nice wallbang lineup. Doesn't yield a kill, but they're looking good for this round. No response to any of these frags by Fnatic.
Yeah, and from this point forwards, it's not looking like they'll be able to get really all that much, but they will be able to save their weapons. It's kind of awkward from a money perspective for Fnatic. They don't have the best economy, but they will be okay to fall by in the next round with some drops and so on. If they keep hold of these rifles, that is, which they should be able to do. There is, it seems, one potential problem. Nork is making his way over through towards Monster, so he may be able to find a kill. That, if they're able to get one kill onto these CTs, remove one of these guns, that's going to be highly impactful. So Fnatic must be extremely cautious that they do not run into these NIP players as they lurk around. Nork is going to be able to swing. Oh, not in time. That was very tense. But there you go. NIP do manage to get one round in. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a double Molotov now towards Playgrounds and a more aggressive setup from Fnatic, or some kind of an adjustment.
Yeah, throwing an extra player towards A could be advisable here. And it looks like they'll do just that. Good call there, Dan. But they are making an adjustment. 3 players towards A right now. JW, Golden, and Brawlin. Golden has entered the fray. A new challenger has arrived. But Fnatic don't actually fight for this fountain position as hard as we may have hoped. They'll be looking for a kill later in the round, it seems, as NIP move up long A now.
The molly actually missed as well. It didn't go deep enough onto the stairs, so they actually got to run past the molly without having to smoke it. So that's also a problem, I think.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Might
They
be
let
in
him
some
get
trouble
out.
trying to fall back. Yeah, he had to use some extra utility though. With a minute 10 on the clock, maybe that can work in their favor, NIP. Not sure how much information he saw there. There were 3 on long, but I think he saw maybe 1 at best, perhaps heard 2. They'll take an aggressive angle around the toilets on the inside. Now, NIP don't have any presence towards the B bomb site. We can see that Crims is in the short B position, which will allow Fnatic to focus on the A bomb sites in general.
.40 seconds to go, and NIP is very committed towards this A site. Brolan looking for the info, just creeping. No nades, nothing behind that. Now beyond the remainder of the defense on the side to try to somehow hold this, but they will take the L. And again, it's going to be a saves simulator 2020 here for Crims and Flusher. That was kind of weird, I have to say. Like, firstly, we got that missed molly. It was too shallow, so that allowed the NIP players to just run through without having to expend a smoke. And also on top of that, the other thing is that because Fnatic don't have any players that actually have like line of sights to that position, if they're going to take that at a quick timing, and you think that you have hit that Molotov and you don't hear a smoke, you're not thinking that they're running through playground right now. There was an HE thrown, which did hit one player, but at the same time, like it's harder to confirm that information at that point. So that's definitely not ideal for Fnatic. And then they just seem to really struggle to prevent NIP from getting proper positions, and they gave up control of everything except the site. And so I think they made it very easy for NIP there.
Yeah, if you give up too much space on this map, and the T's know how to run with it, they're just going to creep up, and then finally overwhelm you at the A bomb site with a bunch of utility flashes, smokes, Molotovs. Oh my. But NIP defaulting it up, really trying to methodically clear all these angles in connector. The rest of NIP's outside monster. It's like you're just waiting for the right time to pinch. And then this is
there should be a rotation towards B here, with Crims being in playground. Expect people to be there to swing if A was the intention. I think they've realised that. But again, even if they have, they just got water guns really, so I don't expect much to happen here. Looks going to have a look. JW's got the knife out, but he's gone deep enough. I respect the attempt. Man after my own heart. Not much to be done here for Fnatic. They didn't really invest anything in this one, as they didn't really have a lot to gain. Now leave Flusher alone, waiting to die as the 0-7 song goes.
Can we add like spears to CSGO or like throwing axes or something? Spice it up a bit. No one a fan of spears or throwing axes? Thought you'd be a fan of spears, James. You know that you love spearfishing and stuff.
Why would I be a fan of spears?
You like spearfishing?
Oh, well, I like the idea of it. Apart from, you know, the taxman, i.e. sharks, coming to steal your thingy-mobby, but not something I've done just yet.
Bips and bobs.
I don't have any spears handy. I've got a flashbang, but not a spear. Anyway, it is 3-3. It's still early in this first map of the series. If you're just joining us or joining us late, Overpass Inferno Train is the series, as you can see under the minimap. This map has been selected by Ninjas in Pyjamas. So they'll start on the T side. Hampus will make his way towards Connector. Looking at everything on paper for these two teams, it's very 50-50. Now we're seeing some heightened aggression from Fnatic, but Brian will get taken up by a patient twist around the playground.
Yeah, Fnatic's not doing or having much success with their sort of aggression towards A, and JW's out there for so long. Like, it's really weird because you kind of have, I feel like, as an Overpass player with any amount of experience, you kind of have an internal clock in your head for all the timings of, okay, if I have no teammates in Connector, and I stay out here, there's a certain timing where I could get wrecked, and usually you just fall back in time.
Yeah. It feels like JW may have thrown that clock out the window as his teammate falls, and he just feels like he needs some kind of pick to get his team back into the round. But at this point, it will be so difficult for Fnatic to find any in now. They throw a counter smoke onto the bomb side. Very cool angle being shown as this exec commences. Good nade onto the side as well, but no significant damage being exchanged. And as soon as I say that, Golden's tagged down to half health, and it looks like Fnatic just have to save at this point. They're really being thwarted at this A bomb site. NIP's every single gun round now from NIP has actually succeeded towards A, and Fnatic are just having such a difficult time holding on to this space. It seems like NIP may have found some kind of gap in the defense on that side of the map.
Yeah, I think Fnatic needs to have ops to really counter what Ninjas is doing on this map. They're just kind of grouping up and trying to just overwhelm these choke points with numbers. And Fnatic got caught off a couple times where you saw JW kind of in a spot. It's almost like a one-and-done spot anyways. And obviously if Ninja's going to be wide swinging with 2-3 people, it's never going to work out. So maybe to kind of reduce that, to make Ninjas a little more uncomfortable is having these ops. You know, make them work for it, make them use those smokes and flashes earlier, so at least it has a little leeway to know to actually see when they're hitting, where they're coming from.
They won't be able to get an op into this round though, so I would really favor some kind of water play. At least secure some kind of control on the map. Also allow yourself to go for a fast flank, because most of these NIP plays have been pretty clear in that when they're throwing nades up towards A, they are committing. And if you can get a fast flank off coming out of water up blue door through connector, there's a chance to get a nice pinch onto those NIP players. We'll see how Fnatic adjusts though. Attack pause had just been called, and I'm sure they will change their game plan up just a little bit.
Creep here from Hampus. Great red-eye peek. That's a great pick as well. Catching Flusher, maybe trying to make a play over towards the short side of things, but I mean, the trade is great and everything for Fnatic, but being able to whittle down the numbers and create a 4v4 with over a minute to go is always a huge plus for a T side that can reset afterwards.
Well,
we see that
there is
reset.
an additional rifle now. If they collect that rifle, Fnatic, in time, then it may strengthen what they had anyway. Bearing in mind, they took 3 into it. I don't know if anybody's... I think maybe Brennan picked it up.
Yeah, I think Brilliant.
So it could make things more dangerous in some ways. I think 2 kills would be super solid. Maybe consider going for some gimmicks here. Oh! That didn't quite work out. GW's looking around like, where's my teammate gone? He'll make his way over to the other side. He won't last long, so... NIP have maneuvered well to eliminate most of the threats to the flashbang, but no one to swing. Came way too late on that rotation, and there's enough time for them to clear the site up as well. Only Golden remains, so 4 play surviving for NIP. Covered all the little detail, and they're good to go.
Yeah. The little details are looking good for NIP. They're scaling up so well together. There's really no chance for Fnatic in a lot of these rounds as they move up towards that A site. You can see that their spacing is actually just picture perfect. You couldn't ask for anything better from NIP there. We'll see if Fnatic can dismantle that or make that a little bit more difficult. JW does have that off, and I really feel like he does need to whittle down their numbers a little bit, as Eric mentioned earlier.
Doing a lot of whittling lately. Haven't used that word too often, but now we've been just using that word left and right. I like it.
Well, we've got... I think mostly focused towards B. Not really any control towards A, but given that Fnatic have been fairly passive in general, Fnatic don't have this information just yet. The NIP are quite committed towards this B site currently. And without any A control around this kind of time, you feel like it's too late on Overpass to properly be able to do that. So with no picks as well, we're going to see some kind of a B set piece. Oh, that's a great nade coming in from Fnatic. NIP really slowing things down here. They may want to try to catch an information play, get a pick, and then go into the side after that. And if failing that, they'll just execute in, which appears to be what we're about to witness. Just contact, in fact, actually. And looks like this might actually catch Fnatic slightly off guard, but they're playing really passive positions. The utility is helping them out. 30 seconds now for NIP. It's starting to get very difficult to make sure that they can get this bomb down in time. It might be... Oh, it's not prevented, but it doesn't matter. It's just twist left and he can't hold. That was very disciplined from Fnatic.
Yeah, good counter utility at that B bomb site, really slowing down ninjas of really trying to plant the bomb as soon as possible. So, I mean, give credit to what credit's due.
It seems like they really wanted to catch Fnatic making some kind of play into sewers, but it just never ever came. Fnatic had also really limited vision of the A side of the map too. So Fnatic just decided for whatever reason to play fairly blind that round, and that's actually, I think, helped them a lot.
Monster Smoke is out, and there are some people making their way in that direction, but not the whole team. Pops early. 2 different ways to do it. One is crouching. I think the crouching one is more accurate. So the standing one is to the right, whereas the standing one is a little to the left. But maybe I wonder if it could be on purpose. I can't imagine it.
The standing one I can explain it on the next eco. But Hampus,
Golden's been popped by the barrels,
Yeah.
and they're not going to push in. They've got a minute 30 to capitalize on this, and they still have players in connector, and Twist has been very passive. As the only man on there, you got to be careful. If you're the only guy up top, you can't really do too much. So they will just keep the CTs honest by making sure there's no flank.
Minute to go. Bathroom smoke, and oh, this is actually so smart because they're representing that they're going to start defaulting and clearing positions towards bathrooms. And with this amount of time and the 5v4, usually the CTs will actually err on the side of being cautious and passive, but they're not. Fnatic are not being passive. They actually have bathrooms control. They see that NIP are not there. They've got to realize what's happening, and they're already starting to go down connector to try to flank this. The site will be given, but maybe there's a chance for a retake here. Indeed, Brolan manages to catch one player as they make their way to short, and JW is coming in from Graffiti with the AWP. This is definitely doable here for NIP.
Good positions from NIP, and Hampus catching Crims off guard. That might do it for the retake attempts for Fnatic. They had an opportunity there as they got that kill towards water, but other than that, this was a great outplay from NIP. Those smokes really got Fnatic out of position, and they were able to capitalize beautifully with that B call. So, James, to go back to the difference between the crouch and the standing smoke, the standing smoke that I think Golden threw in this one kind of leaves... It's not supposed to leave that gap on the left, actually, that was there. That was him just missing the smoke. But it actually has this weird bloom on the bottom of it, so that if anyone is close to the smoke on the T side of the tunnel, you'll actually see their shadow beneath that. And so it actually can give you a slight advantage. It's a little bit less accurate, though, as you stated. So if you aren't pixel perfect with it, you can run the risk of having that gap like we just saw there. But it's supposed to allow you to actually get it kind of a one-way where you see their shadows underneath the smoke. It's a weird smoke that when it works out, it actually gives you a huge advantage.
I did not know that. That's really interesting. So the alternative is crouching and more basically to the left, the very left of the pole.
Yeah.
Is the more consistent one.
Yes.
JW's got that really nice pick in connector. Got support from Brolan for him to fall back as well. If you've got a really forward spawn, you can often catch a T throwing a grenade in connector if they're trying to, say, molly towards the bottom of the stairs or something. So that's a very satisfying pick to get with the AWP. As long as you can escape afterwards, one will be spotted towards long. That's not the bomb, though, which is just collected in T spawn. So that's a vital information, which is still missing for Fnatic.
Yeah, there's a smoke there from Brolan. He's just trying to hold things down, slow things down. Don't know if he has any support for this. Oh, he's going to catch Hampus, though, unawares as to his play. Golden's backing him up for support here, so NIP unable to really operate from this bathroom's position without being harassed in the extreme. And we have Nork in a position to at least trade on to Brolan, and Rez is creeping long. So this is really desperate, but we'll see if they can make something happen. JW, he would have to miss this shot, I think, for NIP to be able to stand a chance here. And great peek there. Just fast peeking across the angle to make it as hard as possible for JW. Nice pick from Nook, and all of a sudden it starts to become quite possible, and that's a whip that will really allow a lot more space here for NIP. Rez pushing forward, finds another kill. JW's very, very weak, critically low, and the Flusher is full HP, so this would be difficult but doable here for Rez. There's Flusher, the healthy player, dead. And Rez, he's managed to clutch it. That's so sick.
That hurts. That hurts if you're Fnatic.
2v4, that's so sick.
I think it was it 2v5?
Was it 2v5?
I think Brolan died in the 2v5 and make it a 2v... Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you need to win those kind of rounds. Otherwise, I mean, so those are ones you can't lose, especially if you have a huge number advantage and one of the players were low.
We start to wonder how many rounds Fnatic will need out of this half. Only 4 from 11 so far on the CT side, less than ideal for sure, and do have quite substantial setups on their CT side, but they're just not quite working for various reasons versus NIP. GW going for those dry peaks around the boulder. No flash required, as we saw on the previous overpass. They will go some presence and fall back. So Broland's now in a bait spot where he can play off JW if NIP go in that direction. But first, they've got an issue in short B. Crimson off angle with the MP9. There's a HE to swing on and a Molotov rather than a flashbang. But they'll still hold position, and Plopsky will suffer yet more harassment.
Rez creeping in the bathrooms and Twist taking long control. It really would require something to go desperately wrong, I think, for Fnatic to lose this round. There are so many advantages. They have a lot of utility. They're playing fairly passively. JW has an orb. Quick flashbang for a peek. Long position has been voided. And this should be good for one. JW on top of the dice. The flash will push him back. Back up he goes though. It's hard to deny him. Won't connect this shot though, and that's getting a little bit hot over there. And he will get eventually finished off. But there's this crossfire too to deal with. The player coming up, jump up. Honestly, this is so difficult here for NIP. Doing what they can, but it's simply not enough. 5-7 for Fnatic.
Much cleaner conversion after getting the man advantage there, Fnatic. Every push, even the one from Brolin at long, made sense. There was the flash, and then they just play off of each other at that point. That's how they definitely should have played the previous round, but it's good to see that they tightened things up.
It's been a drought of rounds since the first 3 for Fnatic, so definitely need to swing things back into their favor, get some momentum. There's that ramp Molotov once again. Should we put up by the smoke this time? And Broland is once more going for the aggression, but there are some flashes as well to dance around. JW moving over towards the B bomb site. So again, there's so many setups for Broland and JW towards A, but they will look to be unpredictable and rotate their AWP. So some early presence shown around the B bomb site from NIP, but they've got more than one person towards A on this occasion. Previously, we saw an off angle being held while they were showing presence elsewhere. JW will have some good timing towards short B, where actually Fnatic have had a lot of presence in many rounds, at least early. They would eventually fall back, and you can see there's some risk-taking here. Oh, JW. Plopsky is going to open a door eventually. He's lucky to get away with that.
Oh my god. JW is so lucky indeed. 50 seconds. And once again, you know, Fnatic quite passive. They've really allowed the whole map to go to an IP, more or less. Oh!
That's funny.
Can't escape that one. 40 seconds now. Now there's a possibility they could go back to A. Rez has a forward position towards that bomb site, and Fnatic is mostly towards B, but they are grouping up towards Monster Tunnel. So Rez just lurking out there. Not going to be successful. 4 versus 4 on this B bomb site. Great opening kill from Flusher to take over short. That's really important. Back to short now. He knows exactly where the remaining players are. There's no question about it. And now it's just about timing the peaks, playing the time. Plopsky has so limited... Well, never mind. Yeah, he has nothing to work with. He's dead. And that's another round for Fnatic. So they're really finding their way back into this off the back of a lot of, honestly, just passive CT setups.
Yeah, I think NIP did a good job of kind of micro adjusting their default in a way where the last 2 rounds, JW got the first pick pretty early in the round, and now NIP was really cautious of giving that the early pick, but Fnatic also did a pretty good job at even holding them back even longer after NIP figured out where JW was.
Yeah, NIP are getting some great safe information in this round and the last. The fact that JW wasn't able to find anything despite that generally unexpected water position for an op is quite impressive, and the fact that they were able to take him down with good spam and nade damage on top of that is really refreshing to see. And no, Flesha just going for some dry info, it looks like, towards that monster tunnel will be taken down. NIP with a more passive approach on this default will be able to find an opening frag.
Was there a flash or something there even? That
I don't
was
think so.
That sucks.
It's Fnatic, Dan. It's Fnatic.
That's a good point.
That's the thing. It's like, it's, you know, they'll do those plays. When they go wrong, they look terrible, but when they go right, they can win you a match, and it can look absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, the flash may be a little too projected.
Trying to continuation spray that through, but it will be traded out eventually. 3 versus 2 in favor of NIP. JW rotates around, swinging through with that AWP from up high, looking to see if he can remedy the situation. The bomb, though, will be planted. There's nothing that can be done about that. But Ron's in a forward position, catches Twist unawares, and now it's a 2 versus 2. I think JW knows that there's a player deep left on Monster, so really it's about where the next one is, and Prolin's going to find him. And indeed, it seems like they know exactly where Plopsky is. He is so screwed. Nice retake comes in from Fnatic, and they are bouncing back in this half. As we go into the final round, it's hard to say who exactly is going to come out on top, because both teams are going to have a full buy.
Yeah, Ninjas, again, they're playing really good at that anti, like, just making sure that the CTs can't get easy info. As I think that last round, Flusha, you know, it was like a minute 10 or a minute 15 left in the round. He decides to sneak out Monster because, I don't know, he had a UMP. Maybe he felt like an instinct that no one would be outside here, but in his surprise, there's 2 NIP members just kind of sitting back waiting for him to push out Monster. Something that's not really easy to do. Nice pick.
Well, looks like there was the NIP's push was thwarted by a flashbang. However, they will get a kill out of it. I won't say they're unscathed. Hampus got all of 12 HP, but they got a 5 versus 4, and maybe realizing how many numbers we're seeing towards B, they will look to potentially capitalize on something towards A. As we can see, Fnatic are pretty passive on the A bomb site. It won't take long for NIP to find this out. Now, I do wonder, with so many CTs on the B bomb site, will they go fishing towards short B once again? Because if they do, and it looks like Flusha might, then their rotation will come in early enough to do something about this. Looks like Flusha wants that info. We've got JW pushing as well. They just can't be stopped with their information plays, Fnatic. So I do wonder how many players will end up on the A bomb sites.
That smoke from Brawlin was so good to slow down these oncoming NIP players, and it looks like it'll just be a full-on long pop for NIP. 4 of their members are here right now, and to defend will be Crims and Brawlin. Crims is able to find 1. Now Brawlin has to step up to find more. He gets 1 off that map position, and he pushes towards bathrooms, finds another. Knock behind him, though, will finally take him down, and Flusha will be there to pick up the final 2.
And that's a wrap for the first half of Overpass. We will be back shortly after the break. Welcome. We're back in the thick of it, really, here between the NIP and Fnatic. 8-7, a really close, really tight scoreline going into the second half. And I really have no idea which way this one's going to go. These teams look pretty evenly matched so far. We'll see, though, from the pistol what Fnatic are up to at the very least. On this T side, we have that early connector control, and then they're going to actually fall out of these more forward positions towards B, and we see the bomb making its way up Fountain and towards the bathrooms now.
I'm curious where the 2 smokes went. I think one went Heaven, and then the other one, I don't know.
Well, they really pulled NIP out of position with that, and they're all stuck on the B bomb site now, forced to rotate. Now, can they make these numbers work for them? Because it hasn't always worked their way. Rez is just denying everything, running low on bullets, but still at the back of the site. And Rez to pick up the slack, and he will just come back for the last dot. McGirt.
Sick.
That was nasty.
So clean from Rez, are easy.
Yeah, it's a good feeling when you can just pop off like that.
A bit stubborn at the beginning there, but after the reload,
Oh, I wish he got that one too.
it's really weird with pistols in this game. Like the USP as well. It's I don't know if I don't know what it is, but sometimes it feels like you're perfect and there's nothing's connecting. It's really weird.
It's like when you... The recoil resetting on it also is similar to the P250, that sometimes it feels like you could spam it and it just works, and then other times he was on with all those shots in terms of crosshair placement, just the recoil never favored him.
Maybe it's because they're playing a 15-year-old netcode. I don't know. We need to update a little bit.
Source 2 will fix that.
Hopefully, that's what they said.
It'll fix everything. It'll even get rid of other video games so that the only game in the world is CSGO. There will be no other options. Everyone will be forced to play this.
That is the law.
It'll be
That'd be pretty
All we
great,
have.
actually.
This is the great equalizer. Source 2.
Fnatic going with a really slow approach here. They've actually invested 0, which is kind of rare, I feel like. Here we go. Time for everyone to die.
Time to die.
The moneymakers are out. The SMGs, the bonus kills, please. They need the money for those $600 grenades, those incendiaries, and they'll get them. That's one thing we don't have, Dan, actually. You know, we have I've got a flashbang. We've previously set off a smoke grenade, which is called a fire brigade. But we've never got our hands on an incendiary or made a Molotov cocktail.
Why don't you make one?
We have actually let off an explosive as well, equal to the strength of C4,
Yeah.
which Dan did. So we've done a lot of things actually, but not the fire.
That's
we
true.
had a flamethrower. I guess
Feels like-
that counts.
Feels like low-hanging fruit, too.
The race has begun now for a tournament organizer to have a real-life Molotov cocktail at their next event. Who will be the first studio to bust one
The
out?
Russians, no doubt.
Okay, all right.
All right. We have actually got a really forward position on Twist. Hampus was forward on Playground too, but Twist is in that connector. He's the only player really at this point for an IP that has any kind of a forward spot. And he's in that awkward position where you know that T's can absolutely and probably are already in parties, so you're trapped in this spot. And the worst thing about that is that you can't really give your team warning as to where the T's are pushing onto the A site, because they can be anywhere in the bathrooms, maybe they're going along. And you can see Twist there. Wasn't really sure whether or not he should turn his attention back to A, but that moment of hesitation was everything as he gets taken down. And Fnatic are just sitting on the advantage. They're seeing if NIP are going to try to make a forward play to try to mitigate the lack of players. Sometimes you want to just take the initiative, because you know that if you let Fnatic walk up onto the site with nades, when they have more players as well, they're going to win the round with something like that. So in many cases, the CTs will try to make a play. But here, of course, it is just going to be a save.
Fnatic tie the scoreline up here. 9-9. Good lurk there from JW towards Connector, and nice opening pick from Brawlin. It was pretty much decided in the default here, and Fnatic came out on top, not actually having to show their hand in terms of executes or any type of set play. It was just Brawlin and JW breaking it down for us.
You know what's weird is, if Fnatic succeed and take some more guns away at the end of this round, they might actually make the buy stronger for NIP in the next round. Because I wonder, they have 2 MP9s, but I think they've got the money to upgrade, so I wonder if they would have held on to them. We will never know. Not for both of them, but let's see how it works out.
What would you do, James? Would you hold on to it or upgrade?
I'd need a timeout to figure it out.
To call a
Well, at least
to
you're
call a
calling
coach.
time out. At least you're calling time out, James. I respect that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I need to do in this situation.
Let's go to the
Let me get the
magic
Chinese
8 ball.
abacus out and do the numbers. So
Do
it'll
some
be the 1
push-ups.
MP9 instead of the 2. So I reckon they would have Fnatic might have been better off by not hunting there potentially, but there we go. Funny how the game works sometimes. There'll be a lack of utility though, so definitely have a plus in that regard. So there's a second molly that Fnatic would sometimes do as well into Playground, but that will at least exhaust some more utility from Fnatic. And they've only got 1 player towards the A bomb site at present, so while they'll have initial presence towards the B bomb site, they'll probably have to make sure NIP aren't too aggressive towards A. Otherwise, they may be running into a stack.
Fnatic slowing things down here. Minute 10, and they're only really just starting to work on their map control now. This is quite explosive, actually, or it has the potential, explosive potential, because as soon as they get that contact, as soon as they get that kill or the trade, they're going to have to go pretty fast from that point. That is really clean from Rez. That's a horrible, horrible sign for Fnatic. Oh, the nade from Crims! Oh no! It bounced off the bloody thing.
Crim's just sitting too.
Oh
after that.
no.
Just looking at his mistake.
Can't believe you've done this. Well, that tells NIP there were 2 people on long, and that is 1. For free. Twist moves towards the bench, potential flanking position, although I don't think JW's made a sound cue yet, but the comms may come in. Here we go. Here comes the flank from Twist, but it can't come in fast enough. He almost loses it, actually, but he'll get an upgrade if he's quick. Hampus will punish through the smoke, which leaves Flusher in a very weird position. And NIP are the first team to make it to 10, double figures for them.
That was a little awkward round for Fnatic. It's unfortunate that Crims had to take out his teammate. Just didn't like Golden. Look at that bounce. Ooh.
And look at how Crims just sits there. He's just kind of like...
He's probably looking at me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's what I would do. Maybe Crims was cold. Like, shouldn't have been there.
There's the typical smoke that James was talking about earlier. It's a nice clean positioning for it as it lands. But you can't see the shadow behind it or in front of it.
So once again, you know, we're having fairly slow rounds from Fnatic in terms of just building out to start with. You make sure they have the connector control, they've got the lurk outside monster. As the connector control is gained, then they start to work on party and the beginning in front of bathrooms and divider. So this is a very standard type of play, I would say. Putting the focus towards Long Twist. Reveals his position, is forced to drop a smoke so that he can survive. Ooh, but you can see that it is quite treacherous to make your way back still, because those bullets will fly through, of course. And this is great, actually. Fnatic realize they have a timing to go and hit B right now, because they could still be at A for as far as NIP are concerned. And indeed, Golden's going to just run in. Oh my god, he's looking for the entry. He can't get it. He hits the bomb as well. And they have to commit behind this. The trades are favoring NIP so far as it all turns, and Rez there, able to get one more, puts it to a 1v1. But where is Twist? That's the next question here for Fnatic.
He could have thrown the HE, but I think that would probably make Crims rotate towards the A bomb site. So he'll do it after the fact instead. Does a little damage. Quick switch up for the AK-47, which will be really important, but I don't think he has any idea as to where Crims might be. Is guesswork. You can see he's looking for a flank, so Crims could be to his left or to his right, and there are so many deep peaks that makes life really tough. Also, he doesn't have a defuse kit, and now he doesn't have a head, so that will make things even more difficult. Fnatic also make it to 10. Everything is close on paper, between the maps and even the score. 50-50 all the way.
It's so cool how in that 1v1 Crims tucks into ramp, and as soon as his opponent Twist goes quiet for a little while, he just takes more advanced positioning at the pillar, and then the next time Twist repeaks that angle, he's just there and meets him with a headshot. That is really gutsy, because you might just walk right into him if Twist is really holding that angle, but Crims one step ahead in the clutches, as he usually is.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting too, because it's like understanding the ways that your opponents are most likely to play is really important on this top level, and there's a mixture of personal preferences and also meta, like what is meta right now in certain spots. And so yeah, you got to be like very experienced to weigh up those things consistently. And Crims, as you say, he is very, very good in the clutch. We get a slow approach to the B site, but should work out nicely. Plofsky tries to lay down a defensive smoke, but can't quite stay alive at the same time. Fnatic looking to claim the round here. And we have a lot of back and forth in terms of round wins. And that's always going to favor the T side a little bit, just because of the economy element, that their buys are cheaper, and they can tailor their strategies to the buys that they have, whereas the CTs don't have as much flexibility. So right now, in that sense, you would probably favor Fnatic a little bit in this one. Given Fnatic's slow pace, though, it would be cool to see NIP playing a little bit more aggressively.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Oh,
more
that's a weird spot.
I'm thinking more towards of a long A take against Team Fnatic, because as Fnatic's default, obviously, we see it in our point of view, but they're doing, as Alex said, a lot of heavy connector. Make sure that they take control of connector, and then they kind of reposition to how they want to. So Maybe they could try to cut off one side of the map.
Yeah, I feel like NIP, after losing an early gun round with unnecessary pushes and deaths in the default, they decided to hole up on the bomb sites a little bit more and just minimize their lose conditions, and their win condition is just that hope Fnatic don't have a great exec, and now Fnatic are kind of busting out the group site plays together, and they look pretty good doing it. Oh, that nade from Flusha does so much damage onto these players.
That's really handy for them as well, because they did drop an AK-47 towards the end of that last round, chasing the players with pistols. In fairness, they did have armor as well, but it's always a risk-reward there. Chase the guys without a gun and maybe give them one in the process. So that HE damage may help Fnatic, although they still are yet to find their first kill. Still over a minute on the clock to solve the conundrum ahead of them, this anti-eco round, with a few cameo appearances from rifles. You can see them creeping around the toilets on the radar, NIP playing on the sites. As were I remember when Overpass first came out, the ecos and the force buys would often have the CTs just sat on the sites, trying to play off of the bedlam. Don't see it too often at present. But as that clock continues to run down, the threat of trouble rises for Fnatic.
Oh. Nice wallbang there from Hampus, taking out the lurk from Golden. Grim scaling out Monster now, and this is a pretty dry hit. And NIP is ready for this. Rez will shut down Crims, and he's still here playing around the pillar. He's looking for the short shot. He gets it onto Flusha now as well. Gets the third kill onto JW. It's just up to Brawlin, and Hampus is here with the scout, looking to connect. Brawlin does take him down, brings it to a 1v2 situation, and Rez continues on in this round. What a massive 4K from him.
Yeah, Rez is so
Where did
godlike.
AK come from?
That was from the previous round.
Yeah, the one they saved.
So that
was chasing the ecoing players with the AK.
Yep. Oops. That kind of sucks for Fnatic, indeed, to lose to the AK that they dropped. They'll know that as well.
Yeah,
And
JW knows it.
He knows it.
That's gotta hurt. Now, if you're a Fnatic, you're in a weird situation where two of your players can't really full buy. But I think at this point, I think you have to force buy with the rest of the money on the team. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if they feel comfortable doing that, or unless they want to wait for full utility for full money. But I think for a team like Fnatic, they would be the type of team to force buy in this situation and not wait for extra economy.
Well then. Oh, we had it's a technical pause. Okay. I don't know actually. I actually feel like NIP at this point, especially after a win like that, they're definitely looking fairly favored. Not just because that really helped their money enormously, and obviously it's a round that will allow them to tie the score, but more so that Fnatic are playing fairly similarly every round. So the more that happens, I feel it should be the case that NIP will start to adjust and have more success in terms of the opening duels, reading the information a bit better, and so on. So unless we see Fnatic sort of shifting up things, I feel like NIP should be catching up now, or in terms of that.
Looks like we're waiting for a reconnect from Twist here. But yeah, that's a good point. I think NIP have kind of caught on to the style that Fnatic is playing here. And it looks like Fnatic are interestingly going for the force buy in this one. Or at least that's what Golden is implying by buying all of that utility here. And you can see that Golden just kind of praying to the heavens right now. Make this strat work.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking up to God.
Isn't that the ceiling?
It's his God. You can't take that
Ceiling
away from
god.
him.
Maybe. Flusha with the rusty knife.
What is God, Alex?
God. Oh God.
Oh God! I'll be right back.
Hey man, you study philosophy, not me.
I don't
okay?
want to tell people what they may not want to hear today regarding that subject.
Or may want to hear.
Maybe they do want to hear it.
May or may not want to hear. Who knows?
It is God.
Xenu.
It's the manifestation of explaining phenomena throughout the universe and trying to find a sense of the chaos that is constantly ever present in our lives. Just giving
God
us
for
some
you
hope
guys
that there's order at the
is
end of the
whoever
day.
orders.
Yes.
God for you guys is you know what, I wouldn't interrupt this badly, but you know it's the internet. God for you guys, right? In the studio, it's whoever it is at Beyond the Summit who's ordering that Chick-fil-A, man, or the burritos, because Americans love
It's the
themselves some
baby.
burritos. Oh, the baby's God, all right,
The
fair
baby.
enough, man.
It's there it is.
Oh,
there's
it's me.
There he is.
Yeah, that's Bardolph.
That's
See, I had,
looks exactly
I
the
didn't cut
same.
my hair as often. Yeah, pretty much. So my hair curls naturally, but do you know what? When it was January, I think I went a month without cutting my hair, and it was just like carpet. It wasn't curling yet. I wanted people to see the curls.
I wanted to see
But
that.
even, do you know what? Even when I was doing Flashpoint, right, and I had quarantine trim, people were still like, bald. Like, no, I'm not bald, man. I don't shave my head bald. Like, you can see there's hair on my, I got plenty of hair on my head. I just choose to keep it short.
You should
because I
grow it
like
out again. Get it chemically straightened, get some highlights in there.
I want to see it.
Just
I
reinvent
wanna see it,
yourself, James.
Come on.
My younger brother's got like anime hair. He's got his relaxed hair and all that stuff, but I just can't. I can't be asked to wait for the carpet region. I can't do it. So that's like
You
baby
can't.
Bardolph
You just don't want to.
right there.
You just don't want to, James.
Well, I mean, physically, yes, I can, Eric, but no, I don't want to. So thank you.
I was being
Thank
real. I
you
was being
for
true.
that.
I just want you to be honest with us, okay, James? Just be honest with me.
Thank you, Eric.
I appreciate that you tried to answer that question, by the way, Alex. I was just throwing out what is like an awkward question by nature, hoping that it would make people awkward. But you actually tried to answer it, which I respect that.
I didn't try. I did answer.
I even gave you the out. I was like, I even gave you an out, but yeah, it's maybe Fnatic need to change some stuff up here. If we could do a little bit of analysis here.
Yeah, sure.
To give ourselves a bit of a break. With the God Talk, but we have Fnatic in a place where they've been playing these really slow defaults, and NIP been playing fairly passively, and it's beginning to work out more for NIP. It feels like at this point, what should we see from NIP to really start, I suppose increasing the pressure a lot on Fnatic and getting more advantages, and likewise, what would we want to see Fnatic do differently?
Maybe more towards long A. Maybe use the
For Fnatic or NIP?
For Fnatic, because as we talked about earlier, they are heavy in towards the water or outside B / connector, and the map is tough. Like Overpass is a really tough map as T. It's just like it's almost like reading the CT how we're gonna play, or are we gonna set the tone and kind of let them adjust to us. So it's that kind of mentality thing. But it looks like with a team like NIP and Fnatic, they're pretty close in terms of how skilled they are and whatnot. So it's, man, I'd say long A just to make more space. Maybe try to get JW more in the picks instead of relying maybe on the connector area or short A. I don't know. That's my guess.
I would like NIP to try to counter by taking connector more, actually. Running a setup between their water players along with one player sending him down connector and having some kind of crossfire there, maybe blowing up the door with a nade, just taking that space away from Fnatic because they do use it very well. They can abuse rotations off of it. And if NIP are able to control that part of the map, that just takes so many options away from Fnatic.
Yeah, it seems like the meta at the moment is a lot of CT B, like heavy B kind of setups, and I don't know if that's a counter because Astralis always loved to hit B. I don't know if that's because of them.
Whoa!
I didn't know you could do that.
Hey, trivia, you
Sorry.
can actually shoot the swing all the way around.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Not many people know that. I'm the kind of guy who will sit there and do that, so if you didn't know that, then now you know. Well, we got a
Thank
nuisance
you.
Molotovs again.
It doesn't even
Got a
look like
nuisance
that.
Molotovs again from the T side. Oh, well, the people can't see what you're talking about.
Yeah,
just yet,
yeah,
so
it's stuff in the
relax.
studio where
Relax
Nothing
yourselves, people. I guess you can see me all the time. Good thing I'm not like derobing, as I used to do next to Dante Studios. But anyway, so both these teams are looking for their 12th round. Not full derobe, by the way.
That's what happened. Was
So-
happening at all those ECS seasons early in the morning.
You can't
I
talk
know,
about
sometimes
that.
you've got to Take your jeans off because you're just uncomfortable. Only the jeans, though. We're not going crazy. But
Why wear jeans?
This story's gone on for too long. That's a good question. I only had jeans, man. You can't find things to fit when you're 6'4". Well, Fnatic have got a big focus on the B bomb site with their 3 rifles and 2 pistols. Golden being very careful with his honey badger deagle. And they wait.
Just try a skirt, James. Be free.
Nice little pressure by Fnatic, throwing that smoke in heaven, trying to bait, maybe a rotate here. Rez, though, he's not biting it. There's no other move, no other noise is coming from Fnatic here on the T side, so NIP strongly holding on to this bomb site.
Well, yeah, really just running the clock down as much as possible. Now Nor comes out with that AK-47. And he's going to find himself one overpass. Oh no, they jump in the smoke, and it's going to be quite awkward indeed. Nor tries to find a way onto that next engagement. It's a little bit awkward though. Speaking of which, gets awkward for Twist as well. Plant, can he have time for this? Just barely in time. Oh, and he manages to escape. Brolan, absolute masterful moves coming out from him as he repositions towards Graffiti. I have no idea how he's managed to do this. And we might just get a full hold here, I think. Rez is going for it, and there's nothing that Brolan can do. Rez outplays Brolan. Oh no, you felt like Brolan did so many amazing moves there, but Rez just spoke. Stick it. That's all that was needed.
Thank goodness for that smoke grenade.
Smoke and stick.
That round actually was looking pretty good for NIP, especially when they had 3 people in this B bomb site just ready for Fnatic taking this, and that's the kind of the problem on this map. If you're not defaulting, is that eventually the CTs will overstack towards the B bomb site, or they might have pushed a little bit too hard towards the bathrooms. And you can't let them be too comfortable in the bathrooms, otherwise you're just going to run into stacks all day.
Yeah, it again seems to be the case that NIP are really happy to allow Fnatic to waste their own time and be in a situation where they're like, oh crap, we've got 20 seconds to kind of rush this site down.
Yeah, it feels like Fnatic's win condition with how they play Overpass is finding picks in the default and working off of that. But when NIP doesn't give them any picks, Fnatic has a hard time finding simple conversions.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be the case. So that passive place off for NIP is certainly a response to that, and it's no wonder. I think what is the thing that we credit Fnatic with the most? It's how well they play mid rounds where there's picks, and so well there you go. I think you summed it up nicely, Alex. So Fnatic trying to fight back here. Both teams have spent all their cash pretty much, although there's a little bit of cash left on the T side, but Popsky will take down Crims. A fast forward play, and they'll back out straight away. That's great stuff there from NIP, and they can sit on this advantage for the rest of the round, and I think Fnatic know it. Flusher is able to finish off Popsky. Oh my god! Falling into the water. Takes down Nork, and now it gets uncomfortable for NIP.
Surely would be a bonus plant for Fnatic if they were able to do it. I can't believe what Flush has been able to do. The HE, the CZ, now he's got an M4 and there's a kill into Hampus. Bomb still needs to get planted though, will be, as I say it. Rez and Twist remain. We've seen plenty of clutch from Rez, but has he got more left?
That's a good question. And will Flusher get an ace? It's 3k already. It'll be Brolan to take down Rez though. And at this point, if you're Twist, you have to save this orb. There's really no other choice. It is impossible to win this round at this point. Has a way better angle. JW is trying to pursue, but there you go. Sometimes you have to, in Twist's position, you have to hang out a little bit to get a defensive kill, and then you can run away, and then it takes them a lot longer to feel like they can challenge you, because they must check every position. But there we go. Fnatic surprisingly win that round. I think, as you put it, James, like the ridiculousness of Flusher in that round, that feels like a one-off type of round for Fnatic. But there's no better time in this map so far to have a one-off round like that.
Yeah, we saw Fnatic still trying to work this B, still trying to take this B. As you said, if Flush didn't have those 2 incredible kills, NMP would have won that round.
Yeah, this round's going to be up to Twist, really. Teammates do force around his op with a couple of Deagles, or 3 Deagles and a MP9, but the majority of the firepower lands in the Opper's hands here. What will he be able to find? It looks like he's posturing himself towards long A early on in this round, and Fnatic with yet another slow, cautious default to start things off here. Already 40 seconds have passed in the round, and they really have no room, but their control is beginning here. Oh man, a missed smoke towards front bathrooms, and Hampus is gifted an opportunity. Thankfully this isn't Twist for the sake of Fnatic, because that could have easily been an opening pick. And man, Fnatic, they're not liking their chances because of that smoke missing the mark, and will hightail it towards the B bomb site. JW does still lurk at the top of connector now, and he may be met by a Deagle or 2 if he decides to push on forward, but ooh, there it is, right on cue.
Boy.
Rez takes him out, and that just cues the push from Fnatic. They're now making their way onto the B site. Crims, though, taken down by Plopsky. This is just a great crossfire from NIP, and it's tearing Fnatic apart.
Roland's got 30 seconds to find a solution here. And as he tries to clear things out, that smoke up top will go, and he'll have even more trouble. The AWP has been absent for most of this round, but it will soon rear its ugly head. And that's a wrap. That was awkward in many situations. Normally, if you take a Team Liquid, for example, a player will just go inside the playground by the tree to smoke off the toilet positions, take the AWP angles away, and then throw a Molotov from Fountain towards Divider. So those outside angles are taken away as well. So very rare to see a smoke messed up like that, but considering how much how busy it was with those trees for the lineup, I'm not surprised he made a mistake there.
Indeed. Looking like NIP are really slowly but surely sort of getting ahead here, I feel like, ultimately. And they're in a really good position right now. The money is still so difficult in this matchup for both teams at pretty much all points. Neither team has really been able to get a comfortable buffer of cash to work off of. And in this round, Fnatic have their eyes firmly set on that A bomb site. And NIP, they do have Twister, as you can see, with that AWP. And this is a better pacing in the sense that Fnatic do have more time to set this up correctly. That said, they don't have all the players in position just yet. 3 around the short spot. That's a huge kill onto Rez. Twist might, at the best case, get 1 shot before he's completely smoked off and flashed off here. There's 2 smokes to work with and a Molotov for Fnatic. They need to make these nades count. Golden charging forwards with the Deagle, able to get 1, spraying him down, and look at all the CTs falling there on the bomb site. Really nice attack here from Fnatic. Wow. Beautiful from Golden. He is a juggernaut moving through the A site, clotheslining all the CTs.
Yeah,
I'd love to see their flash execute there, because if you look at how people come out of Inferno, like Cloud9 used to do, where they kind of get blinded as they come out, the way he was hopping onto the site, staring at the floor very deliberately, that'd be really cool to kind of study what their execute was there.
It was a great set piece from the Fnatic.
And that's something you have to see. I mean, they've been hitting B for so much that maybe NIP was getting a little complacent on these B rotates. And really, Fnatic just took it to them in that A, that quick explosion. Double nade fails, but Crims will get the kill. And now it looks like it's going to be a B take here. Fnatic open bomb site. The rest of NIP is not there. Yeah, 1 person there. Hero play. And now they have to make something happen with these Deagles.
Well,
I like that they changed the pace from their previous anti-eco, being quite slow and getting a bit hairy, to just a fast one as well, so they're not predictable. It's quite important going forward as well.
and just as feeling like NIP was starting to take control of just, well, basically just figuring out how things should be played against Fnatic, and they were starting to get some headway. That round with Flusher really threw a wrench into the works. That's kind of one of those rounds where you're not like that on paper. You shouldn't be losing to a round like that, and nor can you expect it to happen. So, but the stuff like that in Counter-Strike does happen at the worst possible moment for NIP, and it could cost them the map unless they're able to find a way to bounce back here. And it will be tough to do so, because if we look at their money, they actually... I'm actually not sure about the fact that they invested so much into this round, because they kind of have to eco and effectively play for overtime.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about it.
Oof, that's not good.
Yeah, I think they should have full saved actually, so they would have had a buy round before that case. But I guess it's hard. It's a hard call to make.
How confident are you? Are you confident enough to have 2 force buys in a row if you lose this round, or you want to save and play for the OT? That's a really hard call to call in this kind of situation.
I think they kind of... I was going to say, I think they committed themselves to playing for just... Because they have a lot here. Maybe it's just the case that Plovsky buys and everyone else keeps what they had from the previous round, but still.
Yeah.
I think I would have wanted to see Plopsy save.
Yeah, could have boosted one of these players up, just play that support role. Maybe boost Rez up with the FAMAS so that if Rez dies on top, then he just picks up the gun. Something like that. Recycle a gun somehow. But it'll be pretty tough for the money of NIP moving forward, even after this round.
Especially with how Fnatic have played, because they play very slow, so it's harder to surprise a team that's on a slow pace. That said though, Flush is really out there quickly towards Monster, which will be heard by NIP. They feel this pressure. The smoke's been dropped as well. Plopsky not really sure exactly which way to look, I think. Short is open as far as he is concerned, and after that initial pressure, we get Fnatic falling back. And one of the reasons for doing that is you may force the hand of the CTs on the other side of the map where you have your teammates waiting, which actually could have been the case there. Also, you extract grenades from the CTs as well, who think a push is coming, and they probably don't have many to begin with, so that's also a plus. And then the other thing is you get information based on, like, okay, how many nades came in, how many players can we guess are in each spot. So that's one of the reasons why Fnatic kind of made it look like they were about to push but then fell back.
So the last smoke on NIP is with Hampus, who appears to be by a bank. I think both players are lucky to escape that situation on short B. 40 seconds now, and these rounds are somewhat worrisome. There is an execute to be had. We've got Golden dashing up long, although he's got no grenades. So there we go. Hampus has been taken out. And back to where we go, short B. So Flush is trying to keep players entertained towards that B bomb site. But Plopsky, it seems, okay, fall back to the B bomb site, but it's just Red here with the FAMAS. So say just look at the time on the clock. Well, you will get taken out, which feels inevitable. Fnatic taking the site with a good 15 seconds left. With the presence shown on the B bomb site, it was it worked out pretty well for them. We've seen many teams play those slow rounds in the late stage against a buy or non-buy like this, if you will, and it's always nervous to watch. But that one was done much better than most.
Yeah, and it does force them to kind of save their Kevlar and stuff, which is kind of a plus, but yeah, you got to hand it to Fnatic. That was really nicely done. And I loved Flush's play and just how important that was, because Flusher making the play there prevents the CTs from being able to go to connector to offer any possible flank if there was to be a retake. So it basically, that play from Flusher ends the round because retake becomes impossible. If Fnatic were to therefore, as they did, know that the CTs can only come from CT spawn, the round is over for NIP in that sense. So NIP, they put themselves in an awkward spot with the money, it feels like, but it's all on this round and then the next round. If they're able to win this one. And then it's overtime. Feels like Fnatic is ahead right now again.
Yeah, this is not the best spy for NIP here. But they have to try to make it work. This is their map pick after all. It would be great for them to start on a hot foot in this series and take this away from Fnatic. And Fnatic, they're just so unrelenting with this pressure towards B at times, and it'll go 1 for 1 actually to start the round here.
Yeah, it's going to be 4 versus 4 indeed, and Fnatic will slow things down. Rez and Twist go aggressive in the right timing, finding picks. That's exactly what NIP needed. If they can keep all players alive as well so that they can upgrade to AKs, fully stock up, that would be excellent for them. It's loads of money on Fnatic, so they're not going to be hurting for a buy next round if they lose this one. For Fnatic here, doing as much economic damage as possible would be extremely helpful going into the next round. So NIP would not have enough money to replace things. Big kill.
Yeah, one more would be excellent for them. We'll see if they're able to find it. Rez is playing back dice right now, trying to hold this Fnatic side back. The nades will go into his direction. Little connection there from Flesha on the nade. There are so many players here. Rez is finally able to take him down, and that just leaves Crims with 25 seconds. But this B bomb site is actually free for the taking right now. Does look like there will be a rotation coming in from the NIP side. Can they get onto the bomb site quick enough to deny this plant? Because this would be so nice for Crims. Give himself an opportunity to take more guns away if he gets this bomb down. Looks like he's really not favoring his chances, but eventually he does have to cross. Oh, he's just playing for the damage. Gets the kill on Aplofsky. These are actually huge frags, but NIP will stop the bleeding. But that last kill is actually so big. One of these players from NIP will have to play with an SMG in this upcoming round.
That was really smart of Crims, actually. You're completely right. And it didn't matter if he died or if he stayed alive after time, or even if he died after time. None of that actually mattered. The only thing that mattered was getting the kills, which he definitely facilitated nicely. And we're gonna keep our eye on the damage there. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see an MP9 or two coming out onto NIP. Pyjamas on Twist, not able to get full nades. And for Nork, what is he going to do here? No one can drop for him. He has $3,300.
That is life.
Oh, he has a Pyjamas. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it looks respectable, but the bad thing is that they have very limited utility. They're missing about 3 flashbangs. They're missing a smoke. And they're missing 3 incendiaries, so that could add up for sure. Fnatic can really flex that utility advantage. You see they throw the molly on short B, and the CTs can't really afford to use their own mollies to throw anywhere. So CTs cannot control forward positions at the beginning of the round.
And it may cause the NIP to exhaust more utility with all the jungler just through. I think Plopsky was seen there by Crims, who now should have an angle if he did get there in time. See if they try to capitalize on that. Flashbang just above his head, but he wins the duel after the 180. Slides his way. That was really clean the way he did that. That was
Yeah. Important kills going back the way of NIP, looking to try to grab that overtime. 50 seconds now as JW makes his way up the stairs. Oh, there might be a frag in it for him as he turns the corner. Oh, I got tricked by the X-ray. It's the one from bathrooms, and it's in fact Hampus who's able to juke around the corner. Find the kill onto JW. At this point, it's looking rather hopeless here for a Fnatic in regulation. They know where problem
28
is.
seconds. We've got 2 flanks on the way as well. So they're going to be sandwiched as they try to plant this bomb. Now, if Twist can stay alive, he's actually going to creep onto default. Oh. Not even going to wait. Crims has got so much more to do. 14 seconds. There's a ding and a dong, and we're going to head to overtime, it looks like.
Yeah, map 1 between these two teams. If you are just joining us, the Swedish derby between Fnatic and NIP. First map overtime falls like it makes sense. We're doing a break?
I think we're still going.
Yeah, I think we're still going to. Okay, cool. I thought the hand waving was like, okay, cool. We're good to go.
It's just people being weird, Dan. Don't worry about it.
I know this. Throw me off my game.
I'm sorry.
So we'll see Fnatic continuing on the T sides, and same thing for NIP. But will we see a different look to these respective halves, or sides, I should say?
Yeah, I feel like both teams have just figured each other out really well at this point, and these rounds can be so close at times. It's just a matter of trades in a few of these instances, and they've, thankfully for NIP's sake, gone their way. But just as easily, they really feels like it could have gone Fnatic's in a lot of these cases, but we'll see how things start off. It feels like it's been such a long time since NIP has had full utility and guns on their CT side. Finally, they're getting a little bit of a breath of fresh air. Oh, a missed Molotov actually baits Twist to move on forward, and JW takes him down. A weird blessing in disguise to start things off for the Fnatic side.
Yeah, again, Molly's just to take the sniper angles away. Could have been a disaster. Rez will know he rung Golden's belt at the front of the toilets. There's so much time on the clock, though, for Fnatic. And they still have Crims towards short B heading towards Monster, so there is a late option for them to make a play towards B. They've been seen so close to that A bomb site. We can see the bomb still by connector, but it seems that they will go beyond that towards the A bomb site after all. Rez has been picked off, and now we're in a 5 versus 3 where more commitment will be required by NIP as JW goes on a fact-finding mission on the A bomb site. May have just spotted a player towards Bank. We're in a pretty good spot here. Rough for Hampus to push in this situation. Now, if NIP lose the first 2 rounds, they will be short for the third, so this is a consideration for them. They can't just throw good money after bad.
Indeed, it's you got to be very cautious with the economy in these spots, and Crims is hunting. You might find a lot of damage here. There's one. There's the second one on offer for sure as well. He turns the corner. Oh, I think he's actually got the advantage here as well, playing those headshot angles, but Nork does find the kill. Maybe NIP hold on to 2 guns here. I definitely feel. Oh, never mind. Okay, we're gonna be really careful. Oh, Hampus! Oh no, they're losing everything. But I thought your point was quite apt, Alex. It does feel like both teams have sort of figured out what one another is doing, and they're not necessarily changing what they're doing too much. It's just more like we will just do what we're doing better. Yeah, like refine it more.
Yeah, the adjustments from regulation have ended at this point. It just feels like they know what the rough game plan is, and it's kind of default centric for both teams now. There's no real huge point of emphasis as we see Fnatic run a actually atypical 1-1-3 default for them, and we can see Brawlin is taking a lot of space towards A very quickly in this round. This is really going to help his team's chances if he's able to keep himself and his life intact. He's making the silent jump. Oh, messed that one up actually. Alerts his position, but this fight towards B goes 1 for 1. That feels like it's happened so frequently. These players are playing very well off of each other on both sides.
I wonder if that making that sound will be a blessing or a curse, because Brawlin can assume, as you say, like that somebody has heard that. So, and that's kind of what he has to assume in this case, but it's also that they're not. Oh, that's unfortunate though. Twist in a forward spot. There's the swing, and the shadow advantage from Twist's position is just too good, honestly. If you're ever just dry swinging into that, you will die. It doesn't matter really what the other guy has, unless he's got the reaction speed of, you know,
James Bardoff.
I was going to say someone who's dead, but I couldn't think of anything creative.
Well, JW's got 40 seconds to try and stay alive. Let's switch out for the AK-47. For the multi-frag, the HG goes too deep. It takes half of Twist away. What little remains of him. He's the information man. That will allow the rotation towards CT. Is he going to land the shots? Just about will. Well, Nork will do the job, in fact. Well, there is a much-needed round for Ninjas of Pyjamas. They'll survive with enough numbers to spread the wealth for the final round of the half. We continue to split down the middle.
This game is so close. Just every fight is fighting for inch and nail. It's a game of inches right now. Whoever makes the most mistakes are the ones who end up losing. These both teams are playing really good.
That's so frequently how overtimes pan out. Just game plans are set. As Rez finds an opening pick, that will be Brawlin taken out. And it looks like Fnatic, they're running that 1-1-3 default once again, so they have to force the issue here at B. But that's a great nade to tag Crims down as well. That's really going to soften up this offense so that NIP can maybe close things out here 2-1. They'll look to do so as Fnatic throw a set piece onto this B bomb site. Crims will be the entry fragger on it, but not getting aggressive and short. Will find Golden. Can he do more damage? No. Crims and Flusha, great responses, bring it to a 3v3 situation, but still at the barrel right now is Plopsky. He'll be set up with a flash, now swings out because of that, looking for the planter, but he's not able to connect.
That might be a huge opportunity that could change everything. Plopsky not getting that one. Fnatic will fall back into post-plant positions, operating from behind the smokes, and that does kill a lot of time off the clock as well. Although the CTs are on top of the site now, they have to figure out where the hell are these Fnatic players. They've got to be in pretty predictable positions. Flusher with the spray there, just as the smoke gets refreshed, and it's getting awkward, and so much more awkward here for Rez. He's by himself. There's multiple positions he has to worry about. There's the player standing on top of the smoke effectively. JW takes down Rez, and they will be one round ahead for Fnatic at the end of the first half of the first overtime. And life, it's so strange. This is such a strange game because it feels impossible to sort of predict. It's just the tiny sort of edges in these various situations. Like if Plopsy gets that kill, for example, which I'm sure he would a lot of the time, they probably would. NIP probably win that round.
Yeah, that could have been the difference maker. It's so hard to tell who will come out on top. Fnatic just seems to have a slight edge right now, but maybe I'm just saying that because they have a round lead.
Yeah,
You could consider that a slight edge.
Yeah, so I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Safe play there.
But I know what
NIP
you
have
mean.
got early.
Go
NIP
ahead.
got early position in that short B area. We've got Rez creeping around towards Party. At some point, we'll have to keep an eye on Long. You never know when there's going to be a flank, especially when it's Fnatic on the CT side. But they still have 3 players on B for now. Another attempt at side. Actually, I don't think he even attempted that. He just kind of walked off. Molly on the inside. That Molly's pretty useful because you'll see that some CT setups have the AWP looking inside toilets, and then where that dustbin is, you'll have a CT looking to divider. So that Molotov splits up a setup such as that, which used to be very popular. But anyway, the first kill will go the way of Fnatic, but still, NIP have Nork in a short B position. With that kill, we might be on here for a push.
Indeed, it's... Oh no, another smoke kill comes on to Grims. Golden is stuck in a hard position there by himself on the site, but not for too much longer. JW's managed to find his way into an assistance. Oh, JW picks up one. It looked like it might be a double, and the distraction is perfect for Golden as he's able to pick off Plopsky from the side, and Fnatic are looking like they're going to be able to defend this one so far. Nork, though, stepping up to try to deliver something for NIP as he looks for the last player. Brolan is in position at the right time, at the right place. And he's going to nail it for Fnatic. 18-16. One more round for Fnatic, and they will win this map.
Flush was cut off in a weird spot towards the monster, and I thought that was NIP's ticket to win the round. But with some hero plays by JW and Golden to really slow down the T's trying to pour in that bomb site. Just threading the needle right there. And Molotov is for the playground, a little deeper.
Yeah, because there are 2. One's been smoked off, but the other one still exists, which really tells them they can't be too far just yet. As we saw with, I think it was MSL's team who, when there was just one Molotov there, they just pushed through it regardless. That second one is much more of a nuisance, but NIP... Well, let's see. Rez is the man to find out if they're deep A. I think if he found some deep A, maybe the play B would come in faster, but as he doesn't really see anybody just yet, this might mean a slower round from Ninjas in Pyjamas. You can see Rez continuing to head up towards Long, looking for that info. JW is on A with an AWP, so he could get picked off in the meantime.
Slow, tense stuff between the Swedish teams. And as I say that, dog strikes, and oh my god, just frag after frag for NIP. And Golden, nice trade there from up top, but you can't stay up here forever. But be really cautious there, you're very exposed. So actually still trying to find that angle, repeatedly repeaking this, but if he goes down, JW has absolutely no chance in this one, and perhaps maybe that's why he's staying up here, so that he can create a distraction so that JW can find something from Graffiti, but it doesn't really seem to be that JW's able to find that much just yet, because there's no peeking here. NIP want them to commit deep before they are going to peek themselves, and there we go. Golden now finally has someone to fight against, but it is a terrible fight for him, and indeed it really looked like NIP just forced Fnatic to make the mistake there.
I don't know if he should have committed to that, to lose another weapon. Bearing in mind they've got one more game point. Look at the money on the squad. They're in a really bad spot to not take it to second overtime here. So I think that was a massive mistake for Fnatic. They weren't given anything. Now that nobody was peaking, so to fully commit to essentially losing the weapon there, you could see JW wasn't as invested. I think was a potential mistake here. They've got a good buyout so far, but we'll see how it finishes. There we go. We got the MP9 for Golden instead of a rifle, prioritizing the grenades. So that could have been a little bit better. We'll see if it has an impact in this round.
Looks like Connector is the point of focus for NIP in this round. They will move up there with Hampus and Plopsky. Oftentimes such a pivotal point on the map, especially when Fnatic is in the server. The way they're able to use those stairs to quickly flank either side of the map. And looks like they'll try to boost up to gain a vantage point onto water. They won't find anything though. Crims is still in that position, tucked in place. NIP making their way up the stairs now. No one wanting to be the first player to make that mistake. This has been a brutal game for both teams. And with just a minute left, it'll be Crims to find the first kill. And he finds the second, makes the FAMAS look so good from that position. And he's looking for more, and he gets it as well. Knocked to fall, and NIP with just 2 players left to try to make this happen.
2 players left. 2 against 5. Well, it's been done before. And Rez and Twist are certainly 2 excellent players for the task. Roland with a very strong angle here. Oh, Rez still gets him, but it's going to be so difficult now for Rez because he's so low on HP. JW will get tagged down through dice, but you can see just like the ability for them to just play around these corners is just too strong. 19-17, and Fnatic will take it down. And it was so hard to see who, figure out which team was going to win this one. Sure, it went to overtime, but every round felt like it was like either team could have won it any given round.
Yeah, that makes for some good Counter-Strike matches when these teams are so evenly matched. And it's really, I mean, if you want to get down to it, you have to rewatch it and to see like what little mistakes each person made for them to lose that round, because it's just they both look really good overall.
Absolutely, and we'll talk about some of those little mistakes after the break.